I didn't know about bed and breakfast until about just 2 years ago. I thought they were just hotels. 1-star, 2-star, 5-star presidential suite until I go to Bowen Island. So I land on the Bowen Island Snug Cove and I walk along the cove and I see a lot of signs, bed and breakfast. I went, what does that mean, bed and breakfast? And there's another guy who talked to me and said, bed and breakfast is you just stay for the night. You have your breakfast prepared by the housewife, and then you gotta leave. You come back you come back at night and sleep there, and the next morning have your breakfast and you sleep again, and that's the cheapest way to go. I'm interested, so I got into it's a residence. There's so many residences in Bowen Island that allow bed and breakfast doing business, and I walk into one of them. Wow, it's so wonderful. It's a big house with a lot of rooms, and then the housewife said, well, ours is almost the best around. You can even feed the deers at our backyard. We have 6,000 deers on Bowen Island, so you can sometimes they come along and you can feed them, they don't hurt you, and we prepare very good breakfast. And look at our sleeping bed, it's clean. Everything is clean in here. So then I know bed and breakfast, and I use it as an example in my lecture. So you see the advantage of traveling sometimes. Monks can travel, you know. We can't stay in a residence and just shut ourselves and do meditation. We have to know more about the world. Now let's answer this question. How to kill fears to go to pass the final examination? Is there prayers you will achieve? Mercy. Mercy means thank you, I guess, right? Yeah. This must be a question from a student. In other words, before he's taking the examination, he's in fear because he does not want to get a bad grade. He wants to get an A in his examination because very fearful that he will fail. First of all, have faith in yourself. When you are studying, you have an exam coming up. You have an exam coming up maybe next week or 2 days, 3 days later. You have to prepare for it. First of all, you're going to have faith in yourself that I'm going to make it. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass with flying colors. Have faith. If you have faith in yourself, that's the first step. If you don't even have faith, you can work on it. So you have faith that you're going to pass. But having faith itself is not enough. You have to work towards it. You have to prepare yourself for it. You lay out your plan for it. If your examination is coming up, say in a week, then you have 7 days to prepare. Say day 1 up to day 7, how do you plan for it? Write down an agenda for it. Day 1, I'm going to spend 2 hours. Day 3, 3 hours. And then I'm going to take a break, maybe day 4, and all these, add up all these. Prepare yourself for it. There's no free lunches, except for this one. There's no free lunches in this world. You really have to work at it to get it. Establish your faith, your belief that you can pass. Make preparation for it. Diligently work towards it. And you already have your way. Is there a prayers you would advise? Of course. Every morning when you wake up, you say, Avalokitesvara, I want to get an A+. 8 is not enough. I want to get an A+. And in your mind you think, if I didn't get it, I still get an A-. So I yearn for bigger things. So you pray to Bodhisattva and say, please give me the power. Please give me the intelligence. Please give me the faith. Please give me the energy to work at it. Once you're conjuring up all these thoughts, you are building up your preparation psychologically. Everything, whatever the mind can conceive, the mind can do. The mind can carry out good actions, bad actions. The mind can carry out anything you want. I heard a story that there was a child hit by a car, injured, not seriously injured, and the child was underneath the car with the wheel pressing on the child's leg. Then the mom came along, it's a big truck, And the mom came along, he was so worried about his own child that she literally lifted up the car and released her child. Because the power comes from compassion. The powers come from concentration. The powers come from this loving kindness, come from the yearn to help, to save. So do you have that power? That power comes from the mind. If you have a weak mind, you better come for meditation. Meditation builds up your mind towards achievement. Imagine, even the Buddha has to work at it to be enlightened. And the mind can achieve wonderful things. Whatever you want to do, the mind can achieve it. Don't say, I can't do it. Sometimes when I tell people, oh, do this, the first thought is negative. No, I don't think I can do it. I said, remove these things and then we can plan on this. No, because when he started, he see a lot of setbacks and difficulties already. Whenever he's told to do something, what he wants to find out is what are the negative aspects of it, not the positive aspects of it. How come I couldn't do it? This is serious, this is important. I wouldn't have the energy to do it. How does it help me if I do it? He set up a lot of negative things in front of him. Throw away your negative. Only positive. The follower of the Buddha's teaching is a positive investigator, a positive researcher, a positive practitioner. Say your prayers every day to build up your faith, to reiterate it like a salesman. Every morning when a salesman wakes up, a successful salesman, I talk to a salesman, you know what they do? They brush their teeth, and then they clean up the mouth and they say, look at the mirror. Sam, you're going to close 10 deals today, not 9. You're going to call 100 calls, and in 100 calls, you're going to be successful in 5 or in 10. You have to talk to yourself, reinforce your mind. Now it comes to the importance of a prayer. If you're not habitualize your mind to say prayers, you have not got one very good tool in your daily experience. That very important tool is the power of prayer. Throw away the word religion. You don't need religion to say prayers. If you yearn for certain desire in your prayer, that desire has to be the right desire. If your desire is for fame and reputation and for bad stuff, you don't have a foundation to build it on. Because your prayer, what you want to do is to hurt someone, to be egoistic. Oh yeah, if you say your prayers enough, even the bad stuff, you can achieve it. You know what Hitler did? Every day he's reinforcing himself. He reinforced himself by all these orders and all this exercising. He's reinforcing himself to the bad things. Reinforcement is absolutely important. I don't want to go on too deep because I tend to extrapolate and go on and on and on, and we'll have to go home, I guess, right? Next question. Would you please explain the difference between thoughts and consciousness? Since they are both related to the mind, I don't understand the distinction. Thought relates to the initial stage. When your eyes see something, the first thought comes up is that image flashes in your pupil and gets into your mind. And then your mind starts to analyze. Hey, this is red, this is green, this is round, this is a square. And then it continues with the thought that I know this guy, this is John. It gets more and more into it. That thought is more or less in the initial stage. When it goes through more and more, it gets into the 6th consciousness and the 7th consciousness and the 8th consciousnesses. So that gets into deeper and deeper in your thinking. So there's an initial stage, an intermediate stage, and a final stage. And of course, in the process of thinking, you also have the storage consciousness, which store everything in your alaya consciousness. That stores up your seeds, your energy, your latent energy. All your latent energy gets stored in there, and if it's find its outlet, it will be expressed. When it's expressed, it becomes volitional speech, volitional action, and volitional thought. So consciousness is more of a grand scale, it's more of a behind scene, and thought is more of an initial analysis, investigation. And in other words, thought is the clerical staff at the front end, contacting the customers, and you talk to the customers. And they even go in the second process of getting back to the cabinets to pull out the file. Here's Mr. A, he pulls out a file, pulls out that file, and then talk to the customer. And then flip the file open. Oh, you're Mr. A. Oh, you have done this and that before. We have a history of 10 years with you, and our services have been good to you. All these other things relates to the consciousness. You see how scientific it becomes in your mind? You know how the Buddha explains consciousness? There's so much more to learn in the Buddha's teaching. But unfortunately, not a lot of people, maybe they don't know, maybe they're not interested. If you're being born in the world and you don't want to know about the Buddha's teaching, you haven't used up your time to venture into something really valuable. In other words, you've gone into a mountain, you already have in the doorstep of a cave, and you know there are treasures inside. You don't even want to push the door through to get through into the door to get to the treasures. You just walk by. What a waste. Get into the cave to get the treasures. And once you get into the cave, and then you know more and more, there's another world inside. You find more. Get this treasure hunt, and we call it a spiritual odyssey. It's like an odyssey to go through an enlightenment path. Can you please explain why shame is a useful mental state? Shame is a morally good perspective, aspect. You know why? If you have shame, you feel sorry about it. You have done something wrong and you feel shameful about it. There are people who don't feel shameful. I have killed someone, for example. I have to kill him because I don't like him. He's not shameful. But someone who kills someone says, oh, I'm sorry, I killed him because at that moment I didn't know that I could perform it. I shouldn't have done it. Whenever you've done something wrong, it's very important that you feel shameful about it. So that if a child has committed something wrong, and he already said, oh, sorry, I'm shameful, I don't want to do it again. Don't continue your punishment. You shouldn't have done it. You do this, you do that, you do that. You're shameful, a shame on you. Being shameful is a good, morally sound personality because he knows he's wrong. As long as he knows he's regretful, he's wrong, he should be praised for it. We should say, Sonny, don't do it next time. It's good that you acknowledge your fault, your mistake. But you learn this mistake, don't do it again. It's good that you feel shameful about it. Don't cry. Just don't do it again. It's good to be shameful of such a bad behavior. That's shame. So it's useful. Compared to someone who say, I'm not shameful. I'm not sorry. I want to do it. Yeah, I'm bad. Yes, I'm bad. I want to be bad. Which one you select? Which one is better? Which mental state you want to be in? Next question. Is one is able to end desire by the time death comes? Does that mean one has attained nirvana at that time, ended the cycle of life and death? You end desire. You are able to end desire. If you are able to end desire, you think it's easy to end desire? Just give you an example. If at the time junction of death, you're in the hospital, you're sick. We all die because of a reason. Most people die because of sickness. And when you are in sickness, what happened to you? You're in pain. When you're in pain, you can say, you already suffer from pain that you're not clear in your mind. And if you have Alzheimer's disease, you don't even know what you're doing. You visit the nursing home. When old people die, they're confused. They have topsy-turvy thought. They don't know who they are. They don't even recognize the relatives. They don't recognize you as a son. They don't recognize you as his daughter. And you say, my mind is clear. Do you believe him? He can't even recognize things. How can his mind be so clear that he ends his desire? He desired to be to be healthy again. By the time of death, most people are all confused. Not only that you cannot end your desire, you're all confused by numerous things. You don't want to die. You're grief-stricken. You don't want to leave your family. You haven't attended to your unfinished businesses. You still have properties that you want to transfer your title to. You still have diamond rings in the jewelry box and deposit box that you haven't really assigned to your daughter and your sons and all these. You have a lot of things in your mind. And you say, I'm ending all this desire. Just a diamond ring. A person may not be able to end his last breath. It's still panting. You know why? I got a diamond ring, a 10 carats diamond ring in my deposit box, and I forgot to give this key to my beloved daughter. I could not say anything. So I don't want to leave. How can I talk? I have this diamond ring, diamond ring, diamond ring. That diamond ring is in her mind all the time, 24 hours, confused. Let's hope that you don't have any desire when you die. Let's hope that you're all clear of your karmic energy. Plus, if you have a lot of karmic energy, how can you end your desire? What is the definition of ending of a desire, termination of desire? No more karmic energy. That's the ending of desire. No more bad seeds in your life consciousness. How can you end desire? Maybe 1 out of trillions of people may be able to end the desire. That's why we're learning. We're learning to end the desire now, not waiting for the time of death when you're confused. If you can't even end your desire now when you're awake, how can you end your desire when you're not awake? When you're confused, when you're almost dying? Are you kidding yourself? I'm all clear, my mind is clear, I'm healthy, and I haven't ended my desire. When I'm sick, when I'm confused, you end your desire? That's the time when your karmic energy pull you down to a state that you can't even think. What's the difference between nirvana and enlightenment? No difference. Why do you look for difference? You look for difference because of the meaning of words. Don't just look at words. Words don't mean anything. Word is just an expression of this meaning. It itself is the same. Nirvana. I can call nirvana something, and I can call enlightenment something. It's the same. Why is the ultimate goal to end reincarnation? Well, if you don't want to end reincarnation, you reincarnate all the time in the sixth path of reincarnation. And some people say, in the next life, I will be human again. One day, the Buddha, according to the sutras, was teaching to a group of disciples, and he held up something from the ground, he held up in his hand, and he said, all those who are living as humans now, listening to me, all those who are humans now, and they have the chance to reincarnate into human again, is as few as the sands in my hand. All those who are humans now, and they reincarnate into animal realm, hell realm, all these vicious realms are like the sand on the ground. You think you can be human again next time? You may be an animal. You may go down to hell. You may be Asuras. You may, all of us, we don't know. We just reincarnate according to our karmic energy. Imagine what people do. You open up newspapers, murdering, killing, sexual misconduct, lying, cursing, genocide, war, murders, committing suicide, raping. You know you can reincarnate into human again next time, you're sure? We don't know. We don't know. So, if you can end reincarnation, that is where you are clear of all your karmic energy to pull you down to reincarnation. When you are clear of that karmic energy, that means you're free, you're emancipated, you're liberated from it. Isn't it good? You don't have to go to the animals realm, the hell realm, the ghost realm, humans realm. Why do you want to be human again? I want to be human again so I will be a rich guy, and I have a beautiful wife, I have a mansion, I have a car, I have a yacht, I have all the best things in the world, and then you commit all these crimes again, all these bad deeds again. Okay, so thank you so much for lunch. It was delicious. Is there a way to stop the feeling of irritation from bad sounds and smells? You have to learn meditation to know more about it. This is the last question. Why is doubt bad? Are all types of doubt bad? If you're doubtful of something, it's not all bad. When you're doubtful of something, you want to find out more about it. Here, doubt means you're doubtful of it, and you want to maintain your obstinacy in being doubtful. You're not objective in getting to know more about the facts. You're just doubtful, and the purpose of being doubtful is you don't believe it. But if you're doubtful and say, I want to find out more about it, I doubt its authenticity, but I want to verify that it is not true or it is true, that kind of doubt is good, because you're trying to verify it. But doubt without verification and continue to be doubtful about it, you're just being obstinate. You're doubtful of this guy is bad. He may not be bad, and you continue to treat him as a bad person. That's not right. You want to be doubtful, you find out more about him. Maybe behind is a good man. You have to find out more. If you have poor thoughts but choose to perform positive actions while acknowledging that thoughts are bad, is it still bad karma to have those poor thoughts? In other words, you start out with poor thoughts and then you change it to be positive. It's better not to change them. If you start with poor thoughts, negative thoughts, and then slowly you want to change it to positive, in the process of changing it, if you're used to it, more and more you get to be more positive. In other words, you've gone the wrong way. But you always have that ability to turn to the good way, to the correct way. It's good. But it would be better if you don't have to go so much detour to the bad way. If you directly start the right way, you get to the destination faster. If you're in the Ironman competition, if you don't go around in detour, you go straight and you go at a good pace, you get to the destination and you got to be the first runner. But if you go detour, it's still okay, but then you waste a lot of energy. You waste a lot of time. And if you detour into hell, into the animal realm, into the ghost realm, you have to suffer a lot more before you turn back. Why do you have to suffer? If there's some people who tell you, go the straight way, go the enlightenment way, why do you have to detour yourself into other ways, destinations that are not right? So go the right way. Sometimes you may stumble and fall, you may get in the detour, but timely get back to it. Don't detour for 100 years. You can detour for a day, 2 days, 1 year, or 2 years, 3 years, but hurry back. Don't waste the time. Imagine how we waste our time every day. You get a logbook from 1 to 24 hours. You got up at 6, 7 o'clock and go to work. And how much of those are the right thought, and how many of this is the bad thought? You analyze yourself. And more you know that what kind of thought that you always come up with, what kind of actions. Analyze your own actions. Are you egoistic? Are you altruistic? Are you being selfish? Are you helping? Are you considerate? You can analyze yourself and find out whether you're a good person. Some people say, am I a good person? I don't know. Do a logbook of your thought, your action, and your speech, and you add it up, you know, provided that you're on the right moral foundation. If you think that lying is good, then you're not on the right moral foundation. As long as you know what is bad and what is good, you have a moral ground, you have a good knowledge of your morality, then you can work the logbook out. And if you have more positive than negative, you're on your way to lead a more happier life. You are the master of your own faith, not God. Not God. You yourself. You are the God inside of you. There was a flag flying in the air, a flag. One monk said, hey, look at that flag. That flag was moved by the wind. And another monk said, no, you're wrong. That flag is moving itself, not by anything. He is moving himself. The flag is moving himself. The other guy, no, the flag is moving by the wind. And this another enlightened monk, and he said, no, that flag is not moved by wind. That flag is not moving by itself. Your mind is moving.